Okay, hello fellow hunters of the blue, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to another live stream back in YouTube at last. Don't get me wrong, Twitch is fantastic. I love Twitch, but this just is my home and will always be. And yeah, we are back here. We are back on the Royal Retinue Review. If you don't know what this is, well, Royal Retinue Review is the time of the month I take to review my Patreon's minis and give them feedback. It's my way of giving something back to them. And this month has been, well, it is quite late, so sorry for everything. My life is going, well, it's not going bad, but it's a bit of a chaos. And, you know, sometimes the real life gets in the way and these things happen. But we're going to solve this. For all of you that are waiting for the painting competition results and the review, that will happen. Hopefully I can do the award ceremony either tomorrow or on Friday night. That will be the award ceremony. And then I can hopefully do the feedback, which is going to be massive. I want to do that next week, someday next week, probably 1 week from now. So that would be Wednesday next week. That would be fantastic. Nice crown, of course. I'm a fancy boy. Thank you everyone that's here. We have Joey Beer, Paul Mackay, Arthur Plett, Roman Klein, Mark Mooney, Pierce Stetcher, and those and Liam Hervin. Thank you very much for being here. Why don't we move into the review proper, and then, you know... hello Robbie. Glad you're back on Twitch. You will announce the feedback and ceremony stream on Insta somewhere else. Yes, I will be announcing that probably on Twitter, and on Instagram as well. And I will at least on the stories, and I will announce it as well on the community page on YouTube. So sorry for the lack of updates. I've been trying to deal with a lot of things that I will hopefully one day go on and tell you, but you know, private life and all that sort. While everything is getting sorted, you know, things happen. Whatever. Hope everything's going well. Yes, I'm doing fine. Everything's going well. It's just life. You know, sometimes things happen. Yeah, the award ceremony is either going to be tomorrow or on Friday night, depending how much time extra I have. I will probably do it Friday night, so I leave a little bit of space for me to, you know, get everything in order, make sure I don't leave anyone behind, all that stuff. So Friday about this time, that would be the award ceremony. So I will go through all of the win submissions and you know, tell you this is gold, this is silver, this is bronze, and I will do the feedback live stream next week, about a week from now. Just 7 days from now, you will have the feedback ceremony. So hopefully that will be fine. First time catching one of your streams. Thank you for everything. Your videos have been one of my main source of help, and I wonder as I get back into painting minis. Oh, awesome! Thank you very much. That is the kind of comment I love from my YouTube audience. Thank you, Pierre. Thank you, Pierre, for that. That's fantastic. Why don't we get into the review? We have 5 entries this week. Oh, by the way, there won't be a proper video this week because I don't have time. I'm recording it right now, and I think well, I have to start actually, but you know, it's going to be for next week, and hopefully it's going to be another zero skill. I love making those videos, and I want that video to be I think it's going to be the red one. So I'm going to paint a Blood Angel, and I hope it's going to be awesome. Everyone asks for a zero skill on Blood Angels on red, zero skill red, zero skill red. There were 2 main colors people asked, it was red or blue. And I would do the blue, but I want to do the red first. So expect that for next week. I love making those videos. It's so much fun. But for now, we have some minis to review. Again, we have 5 entries for this week, and I think we should move into that. Let me put everything in. Okay. Oh, and now you can't see me. Of course you can't. Wait a minute while I fix that. See me now? No. Wait a second. Okay, that should be it. Things that happen. Wait a second. I need to turn off the alerts and turn off the chat box from Twitch because we're not using that now. We're on YouTube, and I don't have that configured. So let me start with this. Jolly guy. This is from Giuseppe. Giuseppe has submitted a lovely Chaos Warrior from Age of Sigmar. Let me make sure this is properly trimmed. And, you know, flat. Okay, now we can work on it. So he wants some feedback on this guy, so that's fantastic. I'm going to go through the mini itself. This is painted using my Chaos Warriors Heavy Contrast video, plus my green Magic Sword video, which is one of my favorite videos that I've ever made. It's quite old, so I will grant you that. But I still think it's a fantastic video that no one watched because my channel was unknown at the time. And I still think it's fantastic. So go and watch that video. I might re-upload it, try to edit it in a little bit better, but you know, whatever. So this is the same combination, and this is the my heavy contrast. So this is all me. So, and he did a fantastic job. Giuseppe did a great job replicating my tutorial, and he should be proud. But he wants feedback on how to make it better. So let me just get the technical aspects out of the way first, and that is the edge highlights can be neater, and that's always the case, especially around tiny details like the mouth here. You can see how it's not as neat as it could be, but this is so difficult to do. I know doing edge highlights can be extremely challenging. Another thing I personally don't like is how straight and uniform all the scratches are. So let me do something about that. Okay, let me grab this. So yeah, this should do it. Let me erase some of the scratches so I can show what I mean with that. And sorry if this review is a little bit faster than usual. I really have a lot of stuff to do. You don't know how much crap I have to do. Okay, let me go back. So the thing with the scratches is you don't want them to be extremely uniform and like a single stroke, like a line, because those look, they just look fake. So what you want to do with the scratches is try to make them like rough, so to speak. So for example, we want to replicate this scratch here. So we don't want like a single line, like we want this kind of structure. So we want so like a broken, messy like shape, not a line. That's the main thing. We're going to do another one here, like the other one was, something like this. Something like this. And we can do, you know, scratches in all directions, and we can cross them, and we can we can tell a story about it. But that's what we want. We can add this lighter color inside, like here, for example, like that, and like that, where this connects with the edge. And you can see it looks much more natural than the, just a straight line. This is really difficult to do, so don't blame anyone, because even I have issues sometimes with to do that with a paintbrush. So yeah, no shame in that. It's just a really difficult thing to do. Another thing I want to fix, because generally speaking, this is really well painted. It's just a matter of, do all of the edge highlights cleaner, but there's nothing I can say about that. But I do want to make a point on the axe, on the blade. Because back in that day when I did this kind of effect, it was really simple. I just usually did like a single gradient, which is not bad, but we can do better. We know better now, and we evolve. So what I like to do now is try to break. I need a bigger brush. There you go. Is try to break. Oh no, the opacity is way too high. Is trying to break this like gradient of light into smaller sections, so we can have. Oh my god, G-force. If I can do it, really difficult to do with this. So just not having like a single gradient, but trying to break it, especially on the edge. Oh, let me put this in silent. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to turn this into the silent. Okay, that shouldn't be an issue anymore. Yeah, so especially on the edge, we don't want the edge to be like a single gradient. We want a little bit of variation, so we can add this kind of brighter highlight in the middle and do some lines and do stuff like that. And then if we want to simulate like a glass reflection, we're going to take this bright color. We can do some lines like this. Like that. Whatever direction you choose the lines to be on one surface, you have to respect it. But apart from that, that should be very basically it. I think I should do this tutorial again, because I think it's really fucking awesome, and no one watched it. Yeah, you just need to be cleaner with your edge highlights, especially around all of these details. Make sure you can do the 2 stages. In some places we can see the 2 stages very clearly, and in others they are mixed. So for example, here you can see that they are mixed. There's not enough space. Remember, when you do edge highlights, let me just grab like the color here. We want that differentiation. We want to see both stages when we look at the miniature. That's what gives that cleanliness. And so, for example, here around the mouth, let me just make sure. Like this. Now we get this lighter color, and we go all around. See the difference. Here you can see both stages, and that is what we want to see all across the miniature. Oh, we have Go For It Painting. Hello, Go For It Painting. How are you? Twisted Nervous Painting. Whoa, very cool. Love that you have a live stream. I always wanted to see you live. Hello. I used to do this for years actually, and I then moved into Twitch to do this, and just Twitch is just not for me. It's too much work to put into building that community, and it's just not worth my effort. It's just so much work, and I have a lot of things to do. I need to make videos. So if I was only live streaming, Twitch would be great, but as I am doing videos as well, it's just like having like 3 jobs. My normal job, YouTube and Twitch, is just too much for me. So this is what I decided to do, is to go back and just do all of my live streams in the same platform that I make videos for, because it's already, built up, so to speak. So thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy the live stream. So this is the difference. You can see what a difference it makes, especially for the small details. You want the bright edge highlight all across. It just makes a better definition, and make sure we can see both stages of the edge highlight clearly and cleanly. That's the most important thing. I know how difficult this is, so have patience. Oh, Luis Daniel Miranda. Señor Hidalgo, como siempre usted es un rey y un pilar en la comunidad. Thank you very much. That means for all of you non-Spanish speakers that I am a king. Obviously, I have a crown, and I am a pillar of the community, which is also true. I'm awesome. Thank you, Luis Daniel. Thank you very much. There you go. Also on the axe, I would try to break this a little bit more. Oops, this is blue. Oops. Go back. There you go. And try to, make this segmented gradient, which looks really, really cool. I really like. But so the difference from there to there, and having this light really helps. Another cool thing you could do with the axe, if you don't want to do this crystal kind of thing, you could do like a glowy from the inside, like a forge blade, and you can do that with the greens as well. It's just a matter of the process. I have to do a video on that because although it's the same process as I did on the avatar skin, a lot of people ask me if I could show it on the blade, so I might do that as well. But that's it. It's a really good paint job. It's really clean. You follow all of my steps to the letter, and it's just a matter of a little bit more of care, especially on the armor. The leather, for example, is good. The red is good, but the armor, which is a main standout point, needs to be really, really clean so we can read all of the details, because it's just black and it's really dark. So yeah, a little bit more work, technically speaking, on the edge highlights, so they are all cleaner, all of the same thickness, all of that boring stuff that no one wants to be told, but it's just the truth. Sometimes the answer is you just need to work and practice on your edge highlights. Oh, we have a compatriot from the Basque country, says Arratsaldeon, which means good afternoon in Basque, for all of you that you don't know. Hello. Thank you, Step, for the submission. I will send you this on the on your mail. Thank you. Let's move on to Tim. And Tim, knowing that I like elves, has painted an elf, because elves are the best. If you have any doubts, you're just awesome. And this time he did add some checkers, which was my suggestion for the Death Jester. Yes, don't forget to hit the like button. As one of my idols, James May, says, like, share, subscribe, whatever. Okay, let's just move into this. So we have this Eldar, the Eldar lady, which is an awesome model. It's one of my favorites, and it's painted in a very team style. So if you've seen my previous live streams, Tim always submits something. He's awesome. He's a really talented painter. That's one of the most striking NMMs you will ever see. This piece doesn't lend very well to the NMM thingy. Brilliant Colors, very nicely done. Yes, theme is fantastic, and he has a great sense of color and drama in the paint jobs. Always really cool to see. And yeah, I think my first advice would be to, everything looks great. I'm guessing it's not. The eyes are awesome. Yeah, the eyes are pretty damn good. I like that like heavy makeup look. I think it looks fantastic on her. A couple of things. For example, some of the NMM, I just feel it could be a little bit more refined. Let me just explain myself. A little changes that could do a lot for this paint job. For example, this kind of pendants here hanging from her hairpiece or something. I think this needs to have a highlight there. Oh, I forgot to do it. There you go. Like this. This needs an edge highlight here to emphasize the metallic look. Otherwise, it just doesn't look as metallic. Like that. So you see the difference. It's quite obvious. Also on this like rings that connect this to the hairpiece, those also need to be highlighted on the bottom, again to increase that metallic look. And same for the hairpiece itself. I think it needs an edge highlight on the bottom. Just like that. Just like that, and like that, and like that. Because this will give it a much more metallic look. Like this. And you can clearly see the difference now, especially from the distance. Like this. Look how much of a difference it's making. Oh, we've got 49 people watching. That's awesome. Thank you. That's quite more than the last live stream that I did. So that's fucking awesome. So you can see how much of a difference in terms of metallic shine that has. The same applies to things like this, whatever this is, I don't know, but this clearly needs an highlight in the bottom like this. And immediately looks more metallic. Like it is not even close. More things. We could apply the same. Of course, if this wants to be gold, which I think it does. So I'm just going to go with it. Same applies for things like this. We could do a highlight here at the bottom for the same reason, just at the corner here. Same probably here. Really difficult to do because this is so small. So small. But yeah, that would be my advice. So small changes to the NMM. So we make it more reflective, more metallic. So we increase that effect. Another thing I would like to see is some kind of color on her face. Her face is just like a flesh tone. I mean, it has shadows and highlights and all of that, all of the things. But I do want to see a little bit more color. And by that I mean, you can take a deep red, something like this. You make it into a glaze, really transparent. And we can apply that. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. There you go. We can apply that to places like the cheekbones. Like this. Like this. You see the immediate difference that it makes. It just makes it more alive, really. Which is what we want. A skin has a lot of color in it, like a massive amount of different hues, and we need to increase that. I also like to put that in the tip of the nose, especially for females, but also for the male minis. Also on the ears is another good spot to do it, but ears are a bit more optional, at least for me. I would also like to see some kind of shaved head effect. It says Oliu 50 gems look great. Yeah, gems are the gems on this mini are pretty dang good. Some kind of shaven hair on the head. That is also optional because sometimes when it's freshly shaved, especially for females, it's not usually very prominent, but I like to do it. And for that, I like to use like a turquoisey color, you know, this kind of vibe, this kind of greenish blue. So something in the range of Cohili green shade works really well. Cohili green shade. Also, Turtle turquoise works fantastically well. I will go back into that question in a minute, but I need to finish this. So especially here on the head, this is the opacity I want to go. You can see immediately how realistic that looks with that turquoise as the shaven head effect, and how much life it adds into the miniature. You can see the difference from that face to this face. I think it just really helps to sell that realism. You can also do like a little highlight on the nose if you want to go like a little bit like makeup effect or something. I need more opacity now. There you go. Oh, damn it. There you go, like that. Like that. You can do like a final highlight, especially on the nose, really helps a lot. Like that. Like this. So you can see the difference. It's just subtle glazes that makes the whole face look more realistic, especially the shaven head effect. I love to do that, and people always go crazy when I tell them, no, just don't use gray, don't use black, just use a turquoise color. It's the best one. A dark, desaturated turquoise, or even a bright turquoise like again Turtle turquoise or a Keeling green would also work, but I do like better Turtle turquoise. Cohelia green shade is one of my favorites. It's just so easy to control, you know, and people just blows their mind when you tell them that. But yeah, minor fixes onto the NMM. I would like. I'm guessing this is still a work in progress. Tim is very like it's very useful from him to just send work in progress pictures so he can work on them better. Please, you're back on YouTube. Yeah, me too, mate. Me too. I would like. I'm guessing like the body armor is not finished. So, but I would take that opportunity to make a point of what I would like to see on the suit. A lot of people have issues when placing highlights, especially on like to get that like shiny effect, and when I tell them how I do it or how I get my first like guidelines, the first like go like, oh, that is cheating, and I go, yeah, so what? So what you can do is take a picture of a miniature painted with some satin paint. Sprays go fantastic for that, and then just shine a light from the direction you want the light, or from the photo angle you're going to use to take a photo, and then apply your highlights where the light is shining on the model, because that's where the shapes is telling you that it wants highlights. And in this case, on the suit, we have the highlights clear defined on this satin paint, and it's so easy. We just have to copy this. So I would just go. I would love to see the highlights following this pattern. So like this, like this, like this. And yes, there is no such thing as cheating. That is just so stupid. I mean, that concept that some people have, like, like, there is no such thing as cheating on miniature painting or in art in any way, shape, or form like this. Look at how awesome that highlight looks on the model, because we're following the natural pattern of the light. I'm going to pick this night color like this, and I'm going to do another highlight, so to reinforce this one like this, and it looks like kind of like a wetsuit, like very alien, very futuristic, you know, that kind of vibe. And look how amazing that looks, just following the same light that the miniature itself is telling us that it wants, that it needs, that it requires. Pick up an almost white to the final highlight to make it really, really shiny. There you go. Look at how cool that looks. That is just proper cool. And you can use the same principle as this to paint the whole model. Just turn it and you will get clues as to where, you know, highlights want to be. They are telling you where they want to be placed. And you can use that for NMM as well. Very useful for NMM. Just make sure you're using satin paint. So before we move on to the next model, we have Samo, and Samo is asking, do you think the chromatic black, dark brown on the body should have been painted on more evident highlights? Oh, yes. So what I think it's that it's not finished because Tim is very Tim usually submits like work in progress models, and I think this is a work in progress. And this is my suggestion as to what to do with those highlights. So I already answered that question by just, you know, painting the model, going on with the review. There are obvious things that I think would need more highlights, like the main body of this cat as well. We should go. I mean, I know Tim likes to like center the focus points very, very dramatically, and that might be the case with this cat. Like only the face has highlights, and the rest of the body is like, you know, on a second plane. But yeah, I would love to see that, and I wouldn't mind a couple more highlights on this cat, even if they are lower intensity than the rest. But I would love to see a couple more highlights on this cat, like this. You know, we can keep the face way more exposed, so to speak. But I would love that. I would love a little bit more, and I think this is just because it's just a work in progress. Let's go around and see how awesome that looks. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think it definitely needs the highlights on the bodysuit, and I think we will see them. I don't think this is finished, but you know, I hope Team likes it. So we'll just move on to the third one. And this is Alois, something like that. Sorry if I butchered your name. I'm really, really sorry. I'm awful with names. And this is great exercise piece. It's a fantastic piece on volumetric highlights, on blending, and even though he actually says in the email submission, this is not about blending. So he knows that the blending can be better. It's an exercise about volumetry and highlight placement, and, you know, defining, you know, all of these lovely volumes that Space Marines have. I love basically everything about it. I am missing some edge highlights. For example, on places like here. Oh, I need more opacity. Thank you very much. There you go. Like this. I'm missing the edge highlights around this color because you have them on the shoulder. No. On this piece of armor. I was so awful with words. So I kind of want to see them everywhere else, really. There you go. If you add them to one of the pieces of the armor, you have to add them to all of them that are facing upwards. Then like this. Oh, I forgot to add the second layer. I am the worst. So some of them are missing, not all of them, but especially on this bone. I love the wings skull on the bolter. Yeah. Keep talking, hearing you from the kitchen while I prepare my avocado. We have Samo making a sandwich, and as you would English speakers would say. So yeah, I will just add some more edge highlights, making sure we have all of the recess panels defined. Don't forget the fingers. We need to define the fingers because otherwise it looks weird. So don't forget to run a recess shade to run the fingers. So we have a better definition there. More things that are missing is that the bolter seems to not be finished. Could be the case that the bolter is not finished. I don't know. He didn't mention anything. But we need to finish the bolter. This needs the final edge highlights, especially on these flatter areas. It needs the counter reflection on them as well. Especially when they are facing upwards, like some points here. This, and of course on the gun side, or whatever this is called in English. I'm not one of those gun bros who knows all of the names of the guns or all the parts of the guns. So I don't know what that is called, but yeah, it really needs that, and we need to move on to even brighter colors. Like we have on the rest of this kind of steel color. Okay. But I really like the style and the exercise that you did here. It's a great thing to do, and more people should just do it. Like take Space Marine, just try to do something that you've never done before, or that is like a bit alien to you, and the Space Marines are just perfect for that. You can see the difference those highlights make. Same for the red. I'm willing to bet that this is just not finished. This is just not finished, but it's my job to tell you that. You might already know this, but it's my job to tell you that you need to finish this. Then we have the debate of, do you want the yellow armor to be like super shiny or not? Because that changes quite a bit. That changes a lot of things. Also, where is the light coming from? It's just like directly from the front. It looks like so because the highlight is in the middle of the arm instead of upwards. I personally prefer like a bit of an upwards facing highlight. Just makes for a more appetizing like looking model. It just looks more attractive if the highlight is, instead of being like bang on in the middle of the arm like this, let's put it a little bit upwards, because then you have space for a counter reflection, which might not be what you want, but that is what I would do. And you can do a counter reflection, or like a lot, like here, for example. We have space to do it like this, but it looks better if it's placed a little bit, if the highlight's placed a little bit higher. You can do this like this. And this is what I was talking about, that what do you want in terms of shininess? Because this adds a degree of shininess to the armor, obviously. But I think it looks awesome. Another reason to do the highlight from slightly from above is this kind of spherical details. If you have like the highlight right back in the middle, we don't have space to do anything cool. But if you put the highlight a little bit upwards, like here, then we can add this counter reflection, and it looks very attractive. I'm going to put it there anyway, like that. But that again is a matter of how shiny you want this marine to be, and that's the only person that can say that is you. Speaking in terms of volumetry and of you know, that is of volumetry, which I think this is the exercise that was this marine was used for. This is great. It's fantastic. It's very volumetric, looks great, and it will look killer from a distance. Look at that thing. It looks awesome. Even without all of my additions, that looks amazing. So great job. I would finish the bolter because I don't think that is finished. Remember to do all of the Orisha shading on everything and the edge highlights and everything that is looking upwards, because you can't just do one. You need to do everything. And yeah, it looks great. I don't know what to tell you, but it's a very successful exercise. We could do some green glow. Let's do some green glow. Why not? I kind of like to add glowy eyes to the Space Marines. I think they look awesome. So you just... I don't like to add like glazing onto the upper surface. Stuff like that. Then we're going to move on to a chartreuse kind of color, just to put in the middle of the eye there. There you go. Now we have a glowy eye marine. This is something that if you see paint jobs by Richard Gray, you will see that, because it just focuses your vision like right into the eyes. So even if some bits of the rest of the body are a little bit sloppy, no one's going to look at them. Everyone's going to look at the eyes. So that looks great. Fantastic job there. You should be proud. Let's move on to Paul. And if you've been a seasoned veteran of the channel, you've already seen this. Especially, well, this was done on Twitch. It was my first Twitch live stream. Was a Royal Retinue review like this one, and this miniature was there. The thing is, I had a setting that was wrong on that first Twitch live stream. I wanted all of my live streams to be kept and so you can see them like view on demand. I think they call that, but that option turns out wasn't activated and by default, and I thought it was. I was mistaken, and the review of this miniature was lost in time, and Paul wasn't there to see it. So I promised him I would review it again. I should have done it off the live stream and just do it, but I forgot. So he submitted it again. I'm really sorry, Paul. I'm really sorry. I'm not sure I can remember what I said, but I'm going to read it as if I didn't know. This is a lovely historical miniature. I know I've seen these historical miniatures. I've seen them, I held it in my hands, and I know how, first of all, tiny they are, and how usually not really well detailed. Like, faces are usually a mess. Everything is like a little bit blurry. So let's just... I forgive you, Juan. Thank you, Paul. Okay, let's move into the review. First thing that strikes me as 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 being like in need of a fix is the hair, especially the horse's hair, but also the hair, the black hair on this lovely hat. So it's just because it has like a uniform highlight across all of it. So we don't have any modulation. And hair, as it moves, shines. It's very shiny hair. And it just creates these bands of highlights and shadows that we need to replicate, because otherwise it's going to look, a little bit weird. This looks like I know, like a plastic soldier, like toy or something. Like it just doesn't look as realistic as we might want. So I like to add my highlights on all of the concave parts. That's my main highlight, and then I just play in bands afterwards. Because we need like a final highlight here on this section, I'm just going to darken this down and darken towards the tail of the horse like this. I'm going to darken towards the bottom there. Same here. I'm going to leave like a band of highlight on top, a band of highlight on the bottom. And here for this lovely hat, yes, he does have a lovely hat. This is for the painting competition, if I'm not mistaken, because I think Paul said this was for a painting competition. I don't know if it's an online painting competition or if it's a like present, like in-person painting competition. Whatever the case, we need to do something about this because it looks a little bit weird. So what I would do is just, because this is a cylinder, I would treat it as I do an MM. And we need to work on the main view of the miniature. This is the main view you want the judges to judge. And I'm going to place my highlight according to that view. So I'm going to darken this on the middle. I'm going to leave the highlights on the top and on the bottom to create like a nice separation, like a nice definition. But just, like how much of a difference it's making right now, but just darken it down. Yeah, the horse's face is actually quite good. Let me just, because I forgot to do all of the second layer thingy, you can see the difference. It's very subtle, but it just makes a massive difference. And then we can increase the highlights even more. So we have this highlight, we can go way higher because we are now painting reflections, not just highlights. Like this. Like this. Look at how much of a difference that makes compared to the original. You see? This looks fake. This looks like, something weird. It doesn't look like her. But now, it does. That's the magic of understanding how light plays a part on the model itself. Same we can do here. We can increase the highlights just on the crown, like here, like on the top section. And we can increase them again here at the bottom, creating that nice band. And we can do the same on the lovely hat this chap has. Increasing it here. Oh, greetings for Germany. Hello, Merkur Bauglir25. Tell me how you corrected my holy Banshee. Yes, exactly the same. It's a very common mistake. So it's not like you did. It's like a super common mistake when you're painting hair. Is just highlighting it, all of the sculpted strands in the same way. You see how this just looks immediately better because my eyes are not distracted by a weird texture on the hat. You can see there from this looks so flat. It just doesn't have any volume. It's just a flat surface. Same for the horse's tail. It's just flat. What we are adding is volume, and we are adding we are rendering that material better. You can do the same for the hair on he is holding, but I'm not going to do it because it's just basically the same. I really love that you try to do not try that you manage to do all of the horse's hair texture. That is great. That is fantastic. I would love to see a little bit more of a volumetric approach to the horse body, though. So let me grab a bigger brush. So not just the hair, which is great, but first we could work the volumes like this. Look at this. Then we can move into this. It's working the horse's musculature like this. And like this. More or less. It's hard to see without having the miniature like in my hand, but you know. And we can also add those volumes on the bottom, and then we can start to do the fur texture. This is great. Let me just grab this middle brown so we can get that back. There you go. You can see that now we have more volume. All of the muscles on the horse are more defined, and then we can start adding this lovely texture. Like this. Oh. You add it, and we could play with the placement so we can use this to even increase further that volumetric highlight. But this is, you know, this is doing the like horse's hair in this scale. This is just super top tier. So that the fact that you already did that is pretty dang good. But you can see how we have way more volume, and we can use this. We can use this to increase our the hair, because this is also hair. It's also going to be shiny. So this highlight that you did here at the bottom, that is a good highlight that should be there, and we can increase it with our hair instead of, you know, like you did. So we can add this highlight here at the bottom like you had originally, and play like that. You can see now we have the volume and the texture. You can see it there. So this highlight is not badly placed. That's where it should go, but we don't have any volume behind, so to showcase it. And I am being like, I'm pushing this probably more than what you would do normally, because this is for the painting competition. So you need to give your maximum. Same for the horsey face. I do like the face, so you don't need to change it. But a little bit more of highlights around the eyes especially. So we have this lovely eyes, which is really, really good how you did it. So we have it. We are bringing the attention of the judges to that piece. You can also use this lighter brush strokes to highlight like the bottom jaw and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty dang good job there. I think the red and the blue look great. Oh, I do remember. I don't like to paint nails on this scale, especially on historical models which are so tiny. I think it looks weird. It looks like really disproportionate. Especially in person, I have so much respect for people painting historical minis. They seem somewhat less forgiving. Yes, they are. I would highly recommend you get rid of these nails. They look uncanny valley, so to speak. I think you can get behind that. Oops. I think this just looks better. It's my personal opinion. It's my personal opinion. This looks better without them. Oops. brush. Don't forget to fix stuff like this. You see, it has some flesh color on the spear. We need to fix that. I will probably highlight the hand a little bit more volumetrically. So towards the top of the hand, a little bit more highlight like this. Make sure that all of the roughly recesses are defined. Like this. Like this. Yeah, a little bit better. The eye here is way too big. There is, I know that this probably has like no shape at all there. I know that it probably has no shape at all, but this eye is way too big. So we need to first of all trim it down, both up and down. And then I would try to define better all of this. So for example, this. Because you see what I just did there? You have this like super dark line going from here to here. No one has that. We have a muscle running from this side down here. So we need to make this muscle like, we need to have it there. So I'm just painting it like this. Look how much of a difference that makes. That just changes the face completely. The rest, I will try to put it there and try to adjust the eye a little bit. Yeah, this is really small. I know this is really small. I know that face is like absolutely tiny because I know how small these are. But you can see the difference. Now he looks shocked about something, and now he looks, you know, more like a normal face. What more should I do? I think, let me grab this. I think we can attract some attention to the face if that's what you want, with some more highlights on the face. It seems to be running out of Pingu's birthday party, so maybe some red in the nose would feel a cold setting. Yeah, that is a good idea. I will probably try to add some definition to the volumes of the beard, which I think you sculpted, if I remember correctly. So try to paint it a bit more volumetrically, so we have those volumes like better taken. And the point that Samuel said is really, really true. That's a good point. He does look, I mean, he is like well packed for the winter, and he's riding on snow. So making sure that the parts that should go red with cold are doing so. So a little bit of red on the nose and a little bit of red on the cheeks. It was the retreat from Moscow, 1812. So brr, yeah. So you can see that painting the, like, giving it like a pinkish tone to the nose is very appropriate. I would probably do the same on the knuckles here, because his hand, and on the finger knuckles as well, if you can. But if this is too small to differentiate it on all of the knuckles, just do like the main ones, because that's how our body reacts to the cold. Is like sending blood to the places that needs it. So nose and the tip of like the knuckles, and that would be it essentially. If you could do all of the things that we talked about, this is going to be a killer miniature. But especially, I know this is just like a background detail, but when a like the horse's tail and stuff like that, and you may say, wow, this is just a background detail, but when a background detail is painted in a way that it's very distracting, it can again distract from the main paint job, and that's what we don't want. If it's painted in a realistic way, ironically, they're not even going to look at it, but it just feels right. They're not going to be like immediately like, oh, that tail looks off. They're just going to, oh, that is a horse's tail, and they're just going to move on. And that's what we want. So I'm going to save this later and send it to you, Paul, so you can have it and see if you can fix some of those mistakes. I would love to see a little, just fixing that line there, adjusting the eye a little bit, and if you could give the beard a little bit more volume, that would be awesome. And sorry for the delay. Let's move into the last one. This is MJG, and this is for his first. I think it's a he, and if it's not, sorry. A painting competition, and we have a large bust. This is big. And the main thing I see here is this is looking good. The light placement is good. You can clearly see that the light is coming from one particular direction. This is just lacking contrast. This is screaming for more contrast. So let's just go on it. And now I'm going to activate the second layer. For example, the light is clearly shining from this direction, so we have a lot of light here and this as well. It's just lacking shadows. Just lacking shadows. Let me see if I can. So, oh, this is way too pink. Let me grab a brown. Like a really warm brown. Okay, there you go. If the light is coming from that direction, we need to make sure that the people watching this know that. It's crucial that we make that understood. Looks awful. Let's go back. So difficult to sometimes do this on. This is something that I would do really, really easily with a brush, but sometimes just picking up the color that is going to look good as a transparency on Photoshop, so difficult. We'll start with a lighter color and lower opacity. There you go, much better. Like that. You see what I'm talking about that shadows, and we can go way darker than this. But now we have the other shadow established. Now we can go way darker. And start building up that light. Look at that. Look at how much difference it makes. It looks flat, and now the light is reading as intended. That is the idea with adding contrast. Another thing is you need to define the eyes better. I know that you probably don't like to use like makeup because you want like a cleaner face, but we need to add definition there for sure. So let me just do that in a second. We need to at least add definition on the upper eyelid, so the eye looks, like this, because we really need that. And on the bottom one, we can go lighter. But it still needs a little bit of definition. There you go. Now the eyes look better. I would also add some of this. She has like a red hair. So I would take a dark version of this. This looks awesome. And paint the eyebrows with this. Like make them stand out more. And then you should add the highlights to the eyebrows as well. Like this. Towards the direction of the light. So in this case, it's just there. And in this case, it's there. Same thing we should do on the mouth as well. We need to keep respecting the light direction everywhere. Also, you added like this white highlight, but it's on the whole lip. I would 100% reduce it and make sure it's just where we want it. So like this. Just leave the white towards the source of light. Like that. Oh, Hobby Tabby, how do you submit photos for review? You have to be a Patreon. You have to be a patron on the tiers of Minatoms or above. And that will grant you access to send 1 picture a month. That's it. Sometimes I've seen using right-shaped reflection on the eye instead of a white dot to the iris, especially in the light comes from the side. White spot can get out of the iris line. Yes, that is true. I did that for a bust recently that I have painted. That I will probably show you in a minute if I can. Let me just see if I can. Wait a second. Let me just put this here. Drive. Yeah, I will show it to you. Normally, I can't find it. So yes, that is a good suggestion. But right now I'm just going for the main things. I'm just going to concentrate on like the super important stuff. Because yes, it can be changed, but it's also really good. So I'm not going to. I mean, it's good enough. So I'm not going to even bother. One more thing we can do is increase the highlights. Now that we have the shadows in check, we can increase the highlights. And if the light is coming from this angle that we talked about, we can make this side brighter, creating, like, intensifying even more that effect. And for this, we can almost go to pure white, especially in such a pale complexity. Like that. You can see the difference. Look at how much personality, how much are we telling a story if we make sure that the light is like really focused on what it should be. Now this is telling a story. And if we have pure white, we can also add a highlight. Just make this small, to this lower eyelid, like this. We'll make sure that the lips are both highlighted, because maybe that is going to pick up a little bit on that angle. And we can even add this reflection to the eyebrow. Like that. Look at the drastic difference. When you're painting a bust, yes, every single part of the bust is important, but the face is where everything lives. You need the face to be like the center of attention. It needs to tell a story. Do you want that subject to be sad? You want it to be happy? You want it to be like dramatic? Do you want it to be, you need to tell a story with your light. You need to tell a story with your highlights. You need to tell a story how the eyes are painted. Oh, Grisha, sorry. I did make an announcement last week, at the beginning of last week, that the review was going to be this past past week, but I couldn't do it in the past week, and I'm doing it now. So, yeah, sorry. But I did make an announcement about the review being. I think it did at least. So there's a couple of people that missed it. Yes, he's in the secret to pump out the paint job. Do you sort of mention gold caps Etsy? Yes. Okay, so we have this here, and another thing that I think this is lacking is again is a little bit of tones to the face, especially for elves. We do want to add those. So you're going to get this dark pink that we've been using, this kind of dark magenta. We're going to make it quite big, it's this large miniature, and turn it into a glaze. I've done this on busts using my airbrush. So that's a good option. I did that with a bust using the airbrush, like a very low opacity. And we can add that there. We can add it to the ears. Like this. And we can add it to the nose. Tip of the nose. Maybe it's a bit too dark. Maybe. We can bring this back with our normal highlights, which I'm going to do. Like this. Look at, oh yeah, this is looking awesome. I'm really happy now. Add some highlights to the ears. A little bit more highlights to the ears. They are directly in contact with the light, so we're going to add some more highlights to the ears. And look at it now. How radically different she looks. It's just like it doesn't look like the same miniature. Oh, Tim is here. Almost finished the stream. Yes, you were second, but this should be there for you to watch afterwards. So, welcome, Tim. Look at the massive difference the changes make. It's not even the same miniature. I haven't even changed the eyes expression, like the position and anything about that. And it looks like the eyes are different. It looks like they are looking at even looking at a different direction. It changes so massive just by changing the position, like increasing the contrast. Just following what you told me on the email, by the way, which is where the light is coming from. Just using that information, I was able to just change this dramatically. Oops, I'm going to change the opacity here a little bit and change the size just to fix this red blush because I think it's a bit too much. So I'm going to reduce it with some flesh tones. There you go. So I can send you like a proper picture. And even going to highlight a little bit of the lower jawbone, just a bit. And here, this bit here is very important. The corner of the mouth on the lower part is really important. There you go. Now you have a completely different face, completely different paint job. Just increasing contrast and just working on the face. And if you can get the face to look something close as this, you are going to do great. Just found out this was going live now. Thank you for the review. Thank you, Sepe. You are the first one, so you will be able to see this once this is over, I'm guessing. Or you can probably just see it now while I'm finishing. But yeah, this is the final thing. And once you have the face looking like this or something close to this, then you can concentrate on the rest of the model, and you can be like add more contrast to everything and stuff like that. But the most important part of the bust is the face. And I want you, if you want to fix something, you want to work on something, work on the face. I'm going to send you this as a reference so you can use it and see if that works for you. But this is a beautiful bust. She has a beautiful expression, and I think it's worth like bringing that expression out. And because I think you can do it. I think you can do it. Let me just fix this so it's like perfect. I want this to be perfect. I would probably even increase the highlights on this side, just here under the eye, just there a little bit. So it's even more dramatic. Yeah, I like that. I like that quite a lot. Increase it here again as well. Yeah. Yes, I love painting busts. You can tell how much I love painting busts. And I'm probably going to suggest that you define the hairline a little bit better with a cheeky shadow there. Just around the hair. Not around the horn, because the horn is in direct sunlight, so I wouldn't touch that. But just so we have a better definition of the hair, I would do that. There you go. Now that is a face that I would be really proud and happy to present to a painting competition. So this is the change, and this is the suggested change. You don't have to copy this, but just take this as an illustration of how much of a difference like good contrast makes. Because I was just following your own guidelines. You just told me where the main highlight was placed, and I just went with that and just increased and add tones, and created a more appropriate looking paint job. Like this looks great. I would love to paint this face. She has a lovely face. Let me just close this because we are basically done. We have 5 people watching, so some people just fell off, which just happens. It just happens. Let me go back. This half of the year, says Tim, I have no time to paint properly at all. So yeah, it is work in progress for me. Yeah. So just finished that bodysuit. Just placed highlights where I just showed you, and it's going to look awesome. Thank you everyone that's been here, everyone that took part, everyone that was watching this. This are some of my favorite videos to make. I think they are super useful. Just people just don't watch them. Go figure. This is one of the still impressive team. Yes, it is. So this is it. Thank you for being here. 2 days time. So on Friday night, I'm going to be giving the award ceremony for the painting competition. So if you took part in the painting competition, come back here Friday afternoon. I will make an official announcement on the YouTube community page and probably on Twitter about when that is going. But if you're in the Discord server, you will also see it with about an hour in advance, probably. So yeah, I did find an evening to add some checkers to the digester though. Yes, awesome. That's thank you. I learned something from every one of your videos. This was no different. Cheers, mate. Thank you, Twisted Nerves Painting. And I will catch you in the next video, which will be again on live stream, will be on Friday. And next week I will post a video. I think it's going to be an 0 scale red video, but it might be an easy NMM gold video. So it depends on how much time I have. Essentially that. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.